Welcome back to round number 2 of our MSS Gym Challenge here at Psycho Turtle. And speaking of Psycho Turtle, they have an Easter sale going on all weekend. Be sure to come in, get your Pokemon cards, get your other cards and collectibles. You can find out more on their social media, even. Psycho Turtle Collectibles on Instagram. We're here in round number 2. Brendan and Arnie. Brendan with the Incineroar, Galarian Zapdos, Furgiraffe, Ogerpon, Wellspring, Fluttermane, and Ursaluna Bloodmoon. Arnie with Furgiraffe, Ursaluna Bloodmoon, Ogerpon Cornerstone, Urshifu Single Strike, Rillaboom, and Raging Bolt. Got the Galarian Zapdos, which is very interesting here. Both these players at 0-1. I know that. I was talking about Arnie losing earlier. Both these players had 0-1. The Galarian Zapdos is an interesting choice. It's Choice Scarf, Brave Bird, Thunderous Kick, Knockoff, and U-Turn. For those of you who are not super familiar with Thunderous Kick, 90 power, 100 accuracy, lowers the opponent's defense. It's a fighting type move. And Thunderous can't learn it, unfortunately. I thought it would be funny if they gave Thunderous Kick to Thunderous, but they didn't. And there's the Bidoof, of course, the Arnie special. Round number 2, this is the MSS, lots of championship points on the line. Got a lot of, at least a couple players who already have their world spot locked in here as well. The Ogerpon Furgiraffe on Arnie's side, and the Incineroar Ogerpon on Brendan's. So this is the Ogerpon Cornerstone. Don't necessarily see that all too often. The Ivy Cudgel is rock here, obviously. Spiky Shield, Follow Me, and Power Whip. Bit different than the Ogerpon on the other side, which is Ivy Cudgel, Horn Leech, Follow Me, Spiky Shield. So a different grass move. Incineroar did lower the Ogerpon's attack. Of course, that doesn't matter if Ivy Cudgel crits, which is the sentence of the day. Sentence of the format, even. Both these teams are a bit built around the Furgiraffe setting Trick Room for the Ursaluna Bloodmoon. Question of whether either of them will go for that here. Incineroar will swap out. And it will in fact be that Ursaluna Bloodmoon switching in on Brendan's side. So if this is Arnie getting the Trick Room up, this would be very good for Brendan. Be a Protect, so Follow Me as well, so we might in fact get that Trick Room up. And it is the Trick Room, so great play by Brendan, bringing in the Ursaluna. Now has the priority despite not being the one to set Trick Room, and now start launching off those big attacks. This is the same set as we saw earlier. Both of them are the same set. Blood Moon, Hyper Voice, Earth Power, Protect. I like Vacuum Wave. Not enough people, I think, bring Vacuum Wave. Nobody brings Throat Spray anymore, which I think is fine. I like the Life Orb more. But in any case, Furgiraffe going to swap out. Gotta get out of there. And the Ursaluna on Arnie's side will come in. So now two very slow bears. We will see the Terra. That is the Terra normal Ursaluna. Bears, I believe Brendan's is a little faster. Looking at my notes here. Get the Follow Me on both of the Ogerpons. Little awkward, which does just mean that the Blood Moon Ursaluna on Brendan's side, Terra Normal, Hyper Voice. Let's see what it does to the other Ursaluna. A little over half. Does the Life Orb chip to itself? Now, Arnie doesn't know necessarily that this thing is just a teensy bit, that his is just a teensy bit slower, I think. I have to preface it with I think, because I don't know, I think. I simply think. And of course the Ogerpons and their Follow Me matchups are important as well. even if Arnie decides to go for the Terra Normal. A Terra Normal Hyper Voice would not knock out that other Ursaluna most likely, and a Terra Normal Blood Moon could be redirected. We will see that Terra Normal. That is a fact of life now for us. There is the big scary bear. Spiky Shield from Ogerpon. There is Arnie's Ursaluna going first. Good damage, but not enough. 8 HP remaining on Brendan's Ursaluna. And that means it will be able to pick up the knockout, I believe, onto the opposing Ursaluna. Indeed it does. There is the knockout onto Arnie's Ursaluna. Did very good damage there, but not enough to KO. I wonder how close that was. They're both some real high damage Ursaluna, and the Life Orb damage knocks it out in return. So both Ursalunas drop. Overall, I'd say a little advantageous for Brendan, being able to... Ooh, and the Horn Leech actually does a little bit of damage back on the Spiky Shield. Didn't go for the Ivy Cudgel, which would not have activated Spiky Shield. Urshifu comes in, and Incineroar on the other end, so that'll drop the Ogerpon Cornerstone down to -2 attack. Drop the Urshifu's attack as well, which is, I guess, a little more relevant here with Incineroar, since it's totally fine eating a Wicked Blow. This Focus Sash, so a Fake Out will break that Sash. Be very nice. 2 more turns of Trick Room. Ogerpon still kind of sitting here looking at each other. I believe we've consistently gotten that Arnie's Ogerpon is faster, and it will also switch out. Actually, I know that it's faster. I know that it's max speed. We talked about it earlier. What happens when you talk to the players? You actually find out what the Pokemon do. Another Follow Me. It's a Sucker Punch. So the Incineroar gets an attack off. It's going to be the Flare Blitz into the Urshifu. Does a moderate chunk, not a huge amount. More than a Fake Out would have been, but not all that significant. And the Ogerpon still lingering. I think there's one Pokemon in the back for Brendan. Ogerpon Follow Me once more. And the Furdraft going for the Psychic. To pick up that knockout, and that means that whatever is aimed into the Incineroar will still land. But not out until Incineroar gets a big knockoff onto the Furdraft. Also knocks off the Citrus Berry, so it can't eat the Citrus Berry. Close combat into the Incineroar, not picking up the knockout. That -1 attack coming in handy. And Trick Room will reverse just in time for Brendan's Furdraft to take the field. And it's a more offensive Throat Spray variant with Hyper Voice and Psychic. Arnie's has Dazzling Gleam and Psychic. Both of them have 2 attacking moves. Wicked Blow into the Furdraft. That's going to pick up the knockout, and that'll pick up the battle for Arnie, I believe. Urshifu just cleaning things up. The Incineroar Flare Blitz going to pick up the Urshifu. It's a knockout there, but even if the Furdraft cannot finish this one off, oh, the Incineroar is going out on its own terms. And Arnie Wolf will win game number 1. A nice little win there. And there's a Lotad. Arnie getting up the Trick Room early almost really cost him. Not getting enough damage on the Ursaluna Blood Moon's Hyper Voice also almost cost him, but at the end of the day, the Urshifu is very strong. Urshifu's a very good Pokemon and was able to kind of clean things up towards the end. Question is, are there any changes to be made for Brendan? Galarian Zapdos is a nice answer to that Urshifu. Doesn't necessarily take the rest of the team all that well, but especially scarfed against the Raging Bolt. Safety Goggles doing absolutely nothing for Incineroar this battle. Looking at the priority tiers a couple days ago as well. Fake Out is above the redirection moves, so you can fake out before a redirect. Which is nice. Extreme Speed's also on the same level as the redirect, so if you have a faster Extreme Speed than the redirect, you can just go through it. Isn't like super interesting information. I kind of care about it. And it looks like we had a bit of a different play from Brendan, who did not win game number 1. Arnie won game number 1. There we go. See, everyone noticed at the same time. I actually know I changed it with my mind. It's not... There's no production, actually. I just imagine how the stream should be, and then it is. No, Trey's the one who runs the production. He does a great job. You should support Psycho Turtles. Support him. Go to their Easter sale and buy your Pokemon cards. And other cards. I honestly don't know what you buy there. Ursaluna and Fergiraf for Brendan's side. The full Trick Room setup on Arnie's side. Very different. It's the Rillaboom and the Raging Bolt. The two Pokemon we did not see in the previous battle. Arnie running the full gambit of the teams. Rillaboom's locked out of 2 of its moves. Can't fake out or Grassy Glide up against this Armor Tail Fergiraf. Woodhammer will still totally cook Ursaluna. Raging Bolt is Thunderclap, Dragon Pulse, Protect, Calm Mind. So it's also kind of locked just into Dragon Pulse or potentially a Calm Mind. Arnie was talking earlier about the Terra Fairy Raging Bolt versus Terra Fairy Fergiraf matchup that can get really painful. Zapdos the Pokemon fan coming in. That is Galarian Zapdos. Do not be fooled by its yellow demeanor. Gets hit pretty hard. I think exactly half of its HP with the Woodhammer there. Raging Bolt will go for the nice Calm Mind. Get that +1 special attack on the board. Ursaluna with a Blood Moon. Finally getting to see it. Ooh, 1 HP for Rillaboom. Barely takes the hit. And gets a little bit of HP back from the grassy terrain. And Ursaluna will also heal off some of the Life Orb damage. Very, very close to picking up that KO there. But barely not enough. And Thunderclap is an option into this Galarian Zapdos for now. I'm not going to say why it's not. Actually, I am going to say why it's not. It's because Fergiraf is switching in, so Armor Tail is available. And so none of that priority will go. Zapdos will U-turn, actually, into the Rillaboom. Arnie didn't try for any priority shenanigans. Just using moves. Not going to allow the Fergiraf to ruin his day. And the Ursaluna coming on back in. And a second Calm Mind for the Raging Bolt. I guess it doesn't have much better options. But, it's gonna... I wonder what the end goal here is for both of these Pokemon. Urshifu comes in on Arnie's side. Probably going to try to pressure that Fergiraf, but now it's just an opportunity to Terra. I'm worried that we're going to get into a spot where we're getting to the PP battle between Raging Bolt and Terra Fairy Fergiraf. See the Terra from Brendan. Terra Fairy on that Fergiraf, as we mentioned. And there it is. Does have the... No, it doesn't have anything. Ursaluna takes that close combat like a champ. Doesn't have any fairy moves, so it can't actually hit Raging Bolt very hard. But their Dragon Pulse picks up the KO. Just enough damage there between those two Pokemon to pick up the knockout. And now this Birdraff just chilling in the Trick Room. Got the Trick Room up, but Ursaluna drops, so now it's just a very fast Birdraff for no particular reason with a Choice Scarf Zapdos that is not going to enjoy the Trick Room in the slightest. And even well, that's a pretty slow Griffon, but Urshifu going to detect. Might be a double protect type turn for Arnie. Might be an everyone protect type turn. Be pretty interesting. Birdraff goes for the Hyper Voice. Does actually connect onto the Raging Bolt. So Raging Bolt is still going. Does take almost no damage. This is gaming. We might be in for we might be in for a long one. I might take a nap for a while. Dragon Pulse into the Ogre Pond slot. Not going to connect. Not going for the Calm Mind yet. Not going to Calm Mind up to max. It's important here for Arnie to get rid of the Ogre Pond, as the only thing that can really stop the Raging Bolt. That Birdraff sure ain't. Ogre Pond with another Follow Me. I feel like going for Psyshock instead of Psychic is a good plan for some of these Birdraff based on the a lot of damage onto Urshifu, but it does take the hit. Would have taken the hit anyway. It's got Focus Sash. Ogre Pond brought down to very low HP, and now brought down to 0 HP after the Wicked Blow. And I believe we're going to be here for a while. I think, in fact, we'll be here for a while. Galarian Zapdos doesn't really have an option here. Grassy terrain disappears, so no more of that. Zapdos back in here. And Zapdos is about to get absolutely trashed by, I don't know, let's say Dragon Pulse probably. Urshifu detects, gonna get an extra turn out of that. Birdraff Hyper Voice is gonna do some damage to Raging Bolt. Is very slowly chipping down the Raging Bolt, although I think the Calm Minds eventually will allow it. Calm Minds and Protects will eventually allow it to out-heal any damage it takes. I spoke to Arnie before this tournament where he told me that he maxed out the PP on his Raging Bolt just to win this specific matchup against Terra Fairy Birdraff, which Raging Bolt obviously cannot hit. One more turn of Trick Room. Raging Bolt will protect. I think this has to be a double protect from the Urshifu, and it doesn't get it. Oh, I think we're going to be here a while. I think we are, in fact, going to be sitting here for a bit. I believe that Arnie does eventually win this. Urshifu goes down. It's just, I think these two Pokemon remaining. Maybe it's not, actually. Maybe there's something else that Arnie has in the back. We saw the Rillaboom drop. We saw the... Did we see the Ogre Pond drop? What have we seen so far? Trick Room goes back to normal. Ogre Pond comes out. Okay, Ogre Pond can totally do this. Our champ Ogre Pond, reigning champ Ogre Pond, going to deal with this. Ivy Cudgel of Justice. Here is the Ivy Cudgel from the Ogre Pond. That does good damage. It'll take a hit regardless of the sturdy. Calm Mind for Raging Bolt just to preserve that late game. The Bidoof going off. Arnie excited about this one. And there's the leftovers healing. Slowly getting it back to full HP. Painful, painful process. Birdraff will protect, will only allow the Raging Bolt to get even more Calm Minds off. Oh, I actually went for Dragon Pulse. Going for that, going for the slow play here, I suppose. The Ogerpon Ivy Cudgel will certainly finish this battle off. In a moment, momentarily. Gotten some, this is a pretty long battle, all things considered, even for a 2-0. Both our rounds have been pretty long. And speaking of which, oh, we're gonna get the Terra finally. First Terrastal. There's the Terra Rock Ogerpon, gonna boost that defense. Don't get to see that all too often. Look at the funny mask. You'll love to see it. It's the defense boost. Here's the Psychic. Actually, the Psychic does not do that much damage. Raging Bolt, Dragon Pulse doesn't do anything, but this Ivy Cudgel will finish it off. That's really cool looking. Don't get to see the Ogerpon Cornerstone all that much, and it picks up the final KO. Arnie Wolf with the 2-0 victory in round number 2 to put a win in the win column today. Brendan going to drop to 0-2. Still a chance to run things back. 3-2. Try to get on the way to top cut. But a good victory by Arnie. It's interesting seeing both players playing around for a draft Ursaluna. And it was just a very good adaptation for Arnie in game number 3 to go, actually, in fact, I don't care. And I'm actually just going to go with Raging Bolt instead and get a bunch of Calm Minds up because, yeah, a little bit too much room was given to that Raging Bolt, and those big Dragon Pulses certainly made a difference. Especially considering that, always putting down pressure in return for all of the, nothing it was doing to Farigiraf. And there's the clapping. Brendan's so excited. You know, it's always a friendly thing when we're playing Pokemon here. Don't know how to flag anyone on the production staff because we gotta go to break, dude. Like, filling time. Easter sale again at Psycho Turtle. Be sure to check that out. We like it when they make money, and Arnie relieved on the other end. Yeah, we're still on. Troy's in the middle of his exam, so I don't know how to I don't know how to signal to go to break. I'm kind of held hostage here. I need to free myself. But I'll get. Now we're gonna go to break. Bye. We'll be back for round 3.